Hello everyone, I Neha Thakkar, Assistant Professor at New LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. Today we will continue with the Unit 10. In that one, today we are going to discuss about the cursor and what are the types of cursor. So let's start with the basic concept of cursor. So first of all, what is cursor is? So whatever the work area is there, and that will be used for internal processing. That means when we fire any query, okay, SQL statement. So at that time, some of the records are going to be retrieved. So if you want to do some processing on that record, so that are going to be stored somewhere. So that area is called a cursor. Now next is what would be the size of cursor, that means how much memories are required. So that is normally how many tuples or the numbers of rows are selected for the particular query, and that is called a active data set. Whatever the data is there, so that is going to be stored at server side. So this is called what? The active data set. For example, suppose we fire a one query like select EMP number, name, department from EMP where this condition. So whenever this condition is matched, that data will be having. So that is going to be what we can say stored at the server side. That means it will open a one cursor. So cursor is open at the server side, and the data will be called what? Active data set. Now whatever the active data set is there, you can do some processing on that data. So one row pointer is maintained, that is point to the first tuple, and you can use particular data which is located by that row pointer, and within the loop you can just access the data also. So that is the main cursor concept. Basically there are two types of cursors are there. So first one is implicit cursor, and the next one is what? Explicit cursor. In today's video lecture, we are going to discuss about the implicit cursor. Now whatever the cursor types are there, the both is having some common attributes that you can check. So that common attributes are there. The first one is the percentage is open. That means whenever you are fire any query, at that time the cursor is going to be open. So you can check with the condition. You can use it with the if statement. So it will return a true if the cursor is open, otherwise it will return a false. The next one is what? The found. Found means what? If you write any statement and if some data is going to be fetched or some data are updated, then we can say that what? It returns a true, otherwise it will return a false. So same way percentage not found. So percentage not found, that means what? When datas are not fetched, any record is not fetched, at that time it will return a true, otherwise it will return a false. Percentage row count. So it will returns what? The number of rows affected. That means if we just write a query which is update statement, so how many rows are updated, so that is going to be written. So these are the four basic, we can say, the attributes of cursors are there that we can select. So today we'll discuss about the attribute which are related to the implicit cursor, or how it will work with the implicit cursor. So first one is what is, we can say, how it is going to be open when any SQL statement is there. So whatever the code is there, normally a statement is there that will be written at the client side. Then it will just send that query to the server, and your cursor is going to what? Just fetch a data from the hard disk, and the cursor is going to be open at a server side. Then you can do the processing of that data. So this is the main concept of cursor is there. Now the attributes of the cursor, that is implicit cursor. So when we just fire any query, insert, update, delete. at that time, whatever the last statement we have execute, either it's an insert or update. So on particular that statement, we can check this attribute, that is either the is open, found, not found, or row count. So first we'll discuss about the is open. So what happened, the Oracle engine, when we just have any query, we have write any SQL query, so at that time automatically the cursor will be open, that statement will be executed, and the cursor will be closed also implicitly. So what happened here, we cannot check this attribute for the implicit cursor. Now main thing is what, the name of the implicit cursor is what, the SQL. The name of implicit cursor is SQL. So before checking any attribute, you have to write here what, the SQL. That means SQL percentage is open. But that is always will return what, a false value. Why? Because it will implicitly open and close. So in between we cannot check the values of that attribute. The next is found. So as I told you, whatever the name of cursor, that will be preceded before the attribute. So SQL percentage found. Now whatever the last statement we have executed, insert, update, or delete. So depend upon that, if it retrieves some data successfully, then it will return a true, otherwise false. In a reverse way, it will what, for the percentage not found and percentage row count. That means it will return the number of rows which is affected by insert, update, or a delete, or we can say the select statement, so that you can check with what, SQL percentage row count. So in this way you can use a attribute with the implicit cursor. So now we'll see some of the example of implicit cursor. So we are going to see the program like write a PL SQL block that will accept the ID of employee. That means assume that we will be having a one table of employee, and just we are asking to what, enter a one ID of employee, and whatever the ID is entered, we are going to, or we are try to delete that record from what, the employee table. Then we'll display how many records are deleted. Same way, the another program we are going to see that accept the ID of employee and update the salary of that employee to what, 2300. That means suppose I'll enter a ID of employee 105. So whatever the salary of 105 is there, that will be updated by what, 2300. And if suppose that record is not found, that means particular employee ID is not available in an employee table, so we just write or print what, the message like it is not found. So let's see this two program of implicit cursor. So we'll see the first program that is of the implicit cursor. So for that we'll just open a one file that is with the ed, and we are doing the program of implicit cursor. So implicit cursor 1. So save it. So in that one we'll start with the declare section. In that one I'll declare a one variable which is name id1. Now I want to take that data type of variable is same as which is of ID in employee table. So how I can take it? This is, you have to write down the name of the table. So employee dot, column name is ID. So ID, and after that percentage type. So what this statement will do, whatever the data type of ID of employee table, so same data type will be taken for ID1. So now in begin section, what we need to do, we just ask user to enter. So for that the code is what, ampersand, and then you have to write ID1. So it will ask user to enter a ID. Now we have to delete it. So delete from employee where ID equal to ID1, which is entered. Now we need to check either whatever the rows are deleted or how many rows are deleted or not. So for that we are going to check what, the cursor attribute. This is implicit cursor. So we have fire a delete statement. So the attributes are set. So for example, if any record is found, so what we'll do, if, then the name of cursor, SQL percentage found. So if any record is found in the delete statement, so it will returns true. So what we'll do then, we'll just print a message that is dbms underscore output dot put underscore line, and we'll print a message that means how many rows are affected. So deleted record is, just will print how many numbers of records are deleted, and after that pipeline, and what we need to write, the SQL percentage row count. So this is the thing how it is going to be used, completed. After that, if the record is not found, then we need to print what, some message. So in else part, we'll just try to print some message, dbms underscore output dot put underscore line. In that when we can say that no record deleted. We just complete it. Then we have to write and if, and we have to end the begin section. So this is the program for that. Again, just you have to run it. So at the rate impcur1, that is implicit cursor 1, cur1. It will ask you to enter something, that is /, and after that it will ask enter the ID 1. So for example, I'll be having 105. So what I'll do, this is what the found. So go to the again ed, and if SQL percentage found, then exit. You have to run the program again. So enter the ID, suppose again 105. So what happened? The deleted record is 1. So you just select star from employee. So we'll be having, for example, that again we'll run that program and we'll give some ID which is not available. So 108, I'll give 108. So again I'll run that program and I'll give 108. So you can see that no record deleted. That means we will not find any record which is ID having what, 108. So in this way you can check the cursor attribute, which cursors are what, implicitly. The next program is what, the update the salary of employee of which the ID is entered by the user. Say example, we are going to update 8 to the 2300 of 101. So 101 Ankita is having what, salary 10,000. It will be updated by what, 2300. So in same program we are going to change. So just open that program. So it will be there. Now ID is there. Now what happened? We are going to here update. Instead of delete, we have to use what? Update set salary equal to 2300, where ID equal to this. So update and direct table name, that is employee. Update employee, set salary equal to 2300, where ID equal to ID 1. If SQL percentage found, then you can just print a message that what updated. We can say that it may happen that the two records are having same ID. So just we'll print that updated record is. Otherwise what we can found that no record updated. So So just save this and again we'll try to run that program. Enter the ID, so Ankita 101. Now you can see that the one row is updated. Again we'll cross check it, select star from employee. So you can see that the Ankita is having what now, salary 2300. So now in this way you can use the attribute which we have seen, that is with the implicit cursor. Just you cannot access the open attribute because it will be implicitly open and close. So this is the basic concept of implicit cursor. Thank you for watching this video.